everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome in. Tonight we're diving into Dead of Winter by Rebecca Zanetti. So grab your drinks and get cozy, and let's talk about Alaska, romance, secrets, and a wild killer review. So, how is everybody doing tonight?
Hi, Joan. Joan, and that's all right now.
Just Jones here?
Yep.
Well, that's all good. That's all good. So, so tonight I went ahead and I kind of changed things up a little bit and printed out some questions. And so we'll just kind of start with the book summary, just a quick summary. So basically, the book is in a remote town in the Alaskan wilderness called Knife's Edge. There's a dangerous killer on the loose. That one of the main characters is Brock, and he's very emotionally has post-traumatic stress syndrome. And then there's Ophelia. She is the agent, the special agent. And so there's quite a bit of tension between her and Brock, and in a kind of a romantic tension as well. So she gives us lots of danger and twists, and it's all in this icy wilderness in Alaska.
In a little bitty podunk town.
Little tiny town.
And they're snowed in.
Yes. Yeah, there's a big storm coming in, and she flies in on one of the last planes in there. And as soon as this storm hits and it's winter time, or the snow is storm season, nobody will be able to get in or out of this little town. They will pretty much be snowed in until spring. So on one of the first questions I have, and Regina, you can answer this too. What did you think about the Alaskan wilderness setting?
I thought it was pretty cool, but it sounded very, very cold.
It did sound cold. I liked it. It because it was just so rugged, and then I felt the wilderness kind of played on, especially when they were out in it and in the storms. I felt it really kind of intensified the story and kind of kept you off guard.
Now, she came because of what reason again? Because Hank died?
She, Ophelia, which they also call her Ollie, is that it?
Yes.
In the book. She is a special agent, and she got in trouble at work for having a romantic relationship with one of her coworkers. And when that fell apart, it came to light. She got in big trouble. So she's kind of on her last ditch effort to save her job. And her boss has a connection with Hank Osprey, and they found him dead. It's been like almost a year has gone by, and he has 4 adopted sons by the name of Brock, who is our main character. And then there's Christian, Ace, and Damien. And it's these 4 brothers that he adopted and helped raise. And then they all went into various jobs in like special forces, intelligence. Ace is a pilot. I think Christian was a sniper, and then Brock was special forces, kind of along that line. So she's coming to investigate his death, which they felt was suspicious. And then there's several other missing people in the area in this Alaskan wilderness, that there's these open cases. So that's why she has come to kind of find out what is going on and solve these cases.
Yeah, her boss wanted her to find out how Hank died.
Yes.
And where did the sheriff go?
The sheriff, I believe, oh, did he have a heart attack or did he retire? My goodness, it's been a month since I've read this, so my brain's a little slow, so I have to apologize for that. But yes, there is no sheriff. And so in this small town, all the townspeople got together and voted in a sheriff. And Brock was not present for this meeting. And so he got voted in as sheriff. And so he is very resistant and refusing to take this job as sheriff. And he keeps saying, I'm not the sheriff. They said, yes, you are. We voted you in. And
He's the most level-headed one. Hi, Star.
hi, Star. It's good to see you. Glad you could join us.
He
We're
was
just, we're
Brock's
just getting started.
Brock's the most level-headed, but he does wonder if one of his brothers killed Hank.
They are, because there's this tension between the four brothers. None of them want to talk about their dad, or guardian, as they call him in the book. They don't want to talk to it because they all are thinking one of them did this, but they won't talk to each other. So there's this tension and this strife that's been going on, this separation between these brothers that's been going on for almost a year. But what did you think? We kind of talked about it a little bit. The isolation and the harsh conditions. Did you think it added to the tension or the suspense of the book?
Yes, because after she got there, after the agent got there, she couldn't leave if she wanted to.
No, she was stuck there. She
I
wasn't
mean,
going
because
nowhere.
the only way to get out of there to go to Anchorage was by airplane.
By plane, yes.
And Brock's the only one that could fly her out. And he
Well,
said there was no way they could fly out in the
yes.
conditions.
Well, and I think too, I don't think in the beginning, I don't think she believed it.
No, no, she
She was
didn't.
like, you're just telling me that. You're just trying to scare me. You want me out of here. You don't want me investigating you and your brothers into the death of your father and these other deaths. So I don't think she believed him at all.
Right.
I was just checking the chat here real quick. So it looks like we just have, oh, we've got 6 people. So drop a hi in the chat. Let us know if you've read the book. It's okay if you didn't. We're still glad that you're here. Could you feel the cold and the danger and the remoteness in the writing? Do you think she did good describing that setting and the cold? I thought she did.
Yes, the writing of the scenery and the place, it was good. Now some of the other stuff was a little, not so, but the scenery of, because I've read books in the past about remote areas like Alaska.
Yes. Yeah. No, I thought she did really good. And I mean, I felt, to me, when I was reading, I felt the cold, and I felt the isolation of this town, and I thought it really helped add to the story
Yes.
for sure. Um, so as far as like the mystery and the suspense, did you think the author kept you off balance trying to figure out who did it? Did you have, throughout the story, did you kind of jump from different um killers? I did.
Well, um, never could figure out who Hank got killed or how. They say Hank died on his own.
Yes.
But
Yeah, that it was an accident. So
there is another death in this story.
yes. Well, the townspeople and the previous sheriff had stated that he was out fishing and had accidentally got shot by a hunter, that nobody had came through. They had found him shot and he was in the water. And so it was very suspicious, but all of the very close small community, and they were all giving the same story, as well as the brothers, that he died from a accidental hunting accident. That nobody came forward and said anything about it. They had just found
And
him shot.
they're also in this town. There's a woman missing.
Yes, there's several through the state. Is that Tamara, the other woman that disappeared from her husband and her kids? Um, and she just came up mysteriously, had just disappeared, and everybody just assumed that she split because it's cold, it's out in the wilderness, and they just figured she had taken off, which they kind of felt that was kind of a common occurrence for people to just leave. But her husband or ex-husband, I think they were getting a divorce or something, he consistently said she would never leave her children like that. She just wouldn't do it. So a couple of the other characters is Amica. Amica owns the bar, the local bar in town. So everybody goes there for meals and for drinks, and so it's kind of the hub of this small town is her bar. And she has a fiance, and what is his name? No.
I don't remember his.
Um,
I don't remember his name, but he was a jerk.
He was, and he owned the a hotel in the area that had burned down. Jared, his name is Jared, and he owned a hotel that had burned down and had received insurance money on that. So you kind of have him in the mix because he's just so shady. From the moment you kind of get introduced to him, he is just not a good person. He's always taking money out of the till. He and you can tell there's a lot of tension between him and Amica, but
Yes.
but it doesn't really go into a lot of that. Just that there's this tension between them. It's something just seems off. That's what the guilty guy always says. True, Joan. True. After kind of meeting him and hearing about the hotel fire, I kind of thought it was him.
Me too.
And so I and
At this time, we're still talking about Hank, right?
yes, that he has something to do with what's going on in this town. I just keep feeling it. Just it must be him. There's something going on. His
Yeah,
hotel burnt down.
with Tammy missing
Yes, yes,
and Hank supposedly shooting himself.
yes.
Well, no, not shooting himself. They say a hunter did it.
So with there kind of being moments that you were certain you knew who the culprit was, um, to change your mind. So mine was Jared. I thought he was the first one that popped in my mind. And then after that, I really started thinking it was one of the brothers.
That hurt
Yes,
that hurt Hank.
Tammy probably did it.
Who?
Tammy's missing, and they talked about that, because she just disappeared. Did she do it, or is she a victim in all of this as well? But I had kind of switched because what I mentioned earlier, he has these three other brothers that all have various issues. Christian, he's a loner. He hangs out in the woods. He doesn't come into town hardly at all. Ace was a pilot that had crashed in his airplane, and so he's got some pretty severe post-traumatic stress, and turned into like a heavy drinker, just dropped down drunk. And then Damien is an intelligence, and he's kind of they really don't know where he's at the time because of his job. He's not really, they're not really sure what they're doing, but Ophelia has information that all of them were in town at the time of Hank's death. So that's why she suspect of one of them being the one who did it. Did you think one of the brothers did it?
No, I kept thinking still in the back of my mind that Jared, the bartender's boyfriend, did it.
The fiance? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I was kind of jumping around. Well, and then kind of in the beginning of the book, they talk about this research facility at the beginning, because when she's flying to town with Brock, they come across it, and she's like, "What is that?" And it's some kind of research facility. It's supposed to be on the up and up, but it's way out in the middle of nowhere, and nobody goes in or out. So that threw some suspicious on. It's called Eve, the Eve facility. It really kind of throws some suspicion. They don't really go into a lot of detail what Eve is, but it is this kind of like, I don't know. It sounds, it's some kind of facility that does this high upper government um, research, but nobody knows exactly what it is. And that's one of the things that Ophelia, looking at a picture of Hank, is he has this ball cap on, and she swears it says Eve on the front of the ball cap, um, but it doesn't. But she just thinks it does. Yeah, true, true, true. Same with my siblings. We are my brother. I just have one sibling. We fight and stuff, but that's just normal stuff. But you wouldn't do anything to each other, no matter how much you just want to throttle them. At least I would. Um, so, well, we'll wait on that one just yet. Did the did you see the twists and turns coming in the book as it progressed, or did you see them coming, or did it just catch you off guard when things would kind of switch and take another direction?
well, it kept showing that it her she kept showing that it possibly was probably one of the brothers that did away with Hank. Um, because Hank was sick.
Yes, yeah, we do find out that she finds out through the coroner that he did have terminal cancer.
And
And
so
so,
they the author kept showing. I don't know. She kept flip flopping it to be one of the brothers that did it, the son.
yes. And then when the autopsy report came out, it made me go, "Oh, he had terminal cancer. He was extremely sick, and he committed suicide."
Yes.
And do the brothers know, or don't they know? And they don't want, do they know that he committed suicide, and they don't want the town know to like disgrace their
Name.
father, but like I said, nobody is talking. One of the things, a big twist for me was when the boy came up, the he's not a boy, he's a young man, and his wife lived there, and they're young, like 19, 20 years old, and he goes off fishing and he comes up missing.
Yes.
And so that's when Ophelia gets her real good taste of the weather, because the towns comes together, they're putting together a search party, and she goes out with Brock to look for this young man who is lost in this storm, which is a matter of life and death there, because the weather is so bad. It would be hard to survive unless he had found some shelter.
And
So
they have different hunting cabins ready.
yeah, warming cabins.
Yes, and they had already got them prepared before the search team went out looking for this young man.
Yes. Yes. And so they spend all day out in the cold, trying to find this young man. And they're getting ready. I think they're going along, and she sees something, and so they pull over and they find a body.
Yeah, but the reason why they find the body is because they got stranded out in the. Um, they find his body, right?
Yes, they find a body, and so they're thinking it's this young man, and they run up to it and they flip him over, and it's not. It's another man, and it's pretty gruesome. His eyes have been removed. He looks like he's been attacked, um, but it's not who they're looking for at all. And so that threw a huge twist into the story, because now you have, trying to figure out how Hank died. You have Tamara, who's missing. Now you have this young man lost out in a blizzard, and you've just found another person that's been murdered or deceased. So now you've got like four mysteries going on.
Yes.
Um, but there's also an accident, as when they find this man in the snow. It's she ends up Ophelia ends up. Do they get shot at?
I don't know if that happened that soon.
Um, well, anyways, she ends up going into the river and almost drowning, and Brock has to save her. And she loses her purse, she loses this, her phone, all of these things, her
Her
gun,
gun. Her
and they're in the
gun.
water, and they've got to seek shelter. So they make it to one of these hunting or warming cabins for shelter.
Right.
And that ends up, you know, where they're not going to freeze to death until the morning. So that night was kind of their first. Um,
Is that not where they find the woman?
that's what I was just flipping back through here to see if that's where
I think
they
that's where they found
found
Tammy.
her.
They finally find Tammy. I think that's where they find Tammy.
Um,
Well, her bones.
her bones, yes, yes. So which they know from the looks of her, she'd also been murdered. So she's no longer a missing person, but a homicide at
Right.
that point. So, speaking of Brock and Ophelia, because this book had some definitely spicy sections in it. I know, Regina, I think you told me you skipped over those parts, which was just a paragraph or two. Did you read them or no?
No, I skipped a whole chapter.
It was only not even a page.
No, it was a whole chapter.
No, it wasn't
Yeah,
that
it
long.
was a whole chapter.
It got pretty spicy between those two, and the spike
More
the
than
the
once.
the sparks were a flying. Let's just say that they were definitely flying with the chemistry between these two characters, and we will just say they end up getting together, and Brock's defenses are starting to kind of come down, and so is Ophelia's, and they're starting to kind of bond to each other, and realizing, that they have feelings for one another, especially when they're stuck out in the cold and they're freezing. Things get heated up pretty good there. So did with what little you did read, or even through the book, not that particular chapter, but did you feel that their chemistry was natural, a kind of a natural progression?
Yeah, because, he was one of them muscular men, and she kept noticing it.
Well, yeah, because he's like he's a SEAL or special ops guy.
Yeah, and then he saw that she, was a pretty well built
Could take care of
woman.
herself, and
Yeah, she could take care of herself, but she still had the curves.
yeah, yeah. Did you feel, as far as the book as a whole, do you feel the romance part of it balanced well with the suspense? It wasn't overpowering. Like I said, there was a couple little snippets of some pretty intimate moments, but
Well,
it didn't consume the whole book.
there. Well, you know how I feel.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do. And that's good. That's a good
I mean,
opinion.
I thought it was too much.
You felt the romance was too much,
Yes.
that it could have been a little more
Yeah.
suggestive and not so much in your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Because
mean, stick to the story. Quit bringing this, as I would call it, having heavy petting in.
oh, it was heavy petting.
No,
There,
it wasn't. No, it
there
wasn't.
was
Anyway,
there was no doubt about that. There was some triple X
I
paragraphs of
mean,
that.
I feel like at times, because it seemed like it happened too often, and
Okay.
they wouldn't stay with the story like they should have.
So you felt that part of it took away from the story.
Yes.
I I I don't know. It that kind of it took you away from what the story was about, but I felt it was kind of, it wasn't like super long, but she could have probably toned it down a little bit because it was pretty explicit. I
Well,
ain't gonna lie there. It was pretty explicit.
not knowing that author,
Yes.
and even though I haven't known other authors, for some reason you were kind of shocked that it was brought into that.
Yes.
But
Being a suspense.
yes, but I mean, I didn't know the author, so
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was like I said, we never read her before. Um I thought that the her writing style is, as far as the suspense and the setting and all of that, was good. Little heavy on the romance side, but like I said, I've unfortunately I have read worse. So it wasn't super bad, but it was pretty bad if you don't like that kind of stuff. For sure. It's not something I'd want ask my mom to read for sure. Um, so with that being said, would you read any more of her books after this one?
no, because well, well, we hadn't even got to the end of the story. Just ask me that later.
Okay.
Let's
We
finish and then I'll answer.
okay, we can do that. Um So we kind of answered that. Did the romance balance well with the suspense? So you thought it was a little over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
So as this story's progressing and you have this romance between Brock and Ophelia, and then Ophelia's getting to know the townspeople. Again, this is a very, very small community. The women, and it's wintertime, so there's not a lot to do. So the women, they have a quilting bee. And so she ends up kind of making some friendships, or starting to form some friendships with the other women in this town, because she gets invited to this quilting bee and enjoys it. She has a good time, and has is making some friends with Flossie, who's the
Betty,
little woman from the B&B, and then you have Amica, who owns the bar, the doctor. Um,
the doctor's a woman,
yes,
and
yes,
then Monica,
and then Monica.
and she's a niece of somebody's or something like that. I think
Yes, yes. She's just a long time towns.
she's a niece to one of the other quilting bee people, but it
Yeah,
didn't stress her. But Ollie and her became friends.
yes. Ollie is what they the town nicknamed Ophelia. So that's her nickname, and she got that right off the bat. I think Amica gave her that immediately, the moment that, and then it just spread like wildfire. No matter where she went, everybody started calling her Ollie, and it just kind of stuck. Um, so during the process of this investigation, more and more is happening. Like I said, they've got multiple bodies now, and she's trying to go through all of these records. Brock is stuck to her like glue, because he feels that she's a target and somebody is out to hurt her. um, she gets shot at leaving the sheriff's office, and he, at that time, he's doing the role of sheriff, but he's still refusing to acknowledge that he's the sheriff in this town. It's kind of weird. He does not want to be sheriff, and he keeps telling them, I am not the sheriff. So what were you surprised towards the end of the story, when everything kind of starts to unravel, and I think we find out about Tamara first, correct? Who killed Tamara?
You mean Tammy?
Tammy, I'm sorry.
Uh, I don't remember who killed Tammy. Do you?
Wasn't it wasn't it Monica?
Her too? Um,
I'm getting my stories are kind of blended. I actually did read book 2 of this,
yeah, we're
and
at you and I are at the point that we read so fast that
yeah.
we don't need to start the book as early.
Yes, that would be good, except I love to read, so I
Well,
have to
you can
get in
always,
there.
well, you can read a different one. Is what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah, yeah. What did you
But see, the suspense keeps going back and forth of, and I don't remember who. who what happened to the man that lost his life close to the river or whatever that
They
was?
don't know. He when
And
it
then
became,
Tammy was the same way. Wasn't her eye missing too?
yes, her eyes had been removed as well. Um when they had found her. So when the man that they had found when they were out looking for the younger man, he disappeared.
Hi,
So in
hi,
the
Robert. It's Regina and Lori. Welcome.
Hey,
Hi,
Robert,
Tony.
good to see you.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony. No, when they got out of the warming shed and they went back and went to go back to get this man's body that they found,
It was
he
missing.
was missing.
Yes.
And so they do not know what happened to him.
Oh, I
Other,
know. I know now what happened.
yes, he was missing.
Yeah, I remember now that doesn't that company, the Eve, had something to do with it?
Well, they're not sure because he had an Eve jacket on. So, and in the meantime, that's a good one that you brought up because Brock goes, and Ophelia is determined she is going to go to Eve and interview these people. Even though they don't know what this facility is, she gets an interview. She goes out there and come to find out, which just puts more suspicion on the Osprey brothers, is Damien, um, Brock, Christian's and Ace's brother, the one that's intelligence. He is the head of this E facility, of all their security, and they didn't
Of
even
the
know he was. They
of
didn't
the
even know he was there.
yeah, the security part.
Yes, they didn't know he was running this facility. So now, like, the three brothers are looking at Damien as the one that may have killed their father. And so it just kind of it keeps bouncing back and forth between these brothers and Christian. Christian is such a wild card because he just lives out in the woods. He doesn't he he has a half wolf, half dog that's kind of just as wild. He's just kind of like this wild mountain man that you kind of see moving in and out of town all the time. So they're one and he was a sniper. So they're wondering, did he do that? Is he the one?
Right.
Um So the young man that was lost in the woods is so funny. I couldn't remember this. His name is Wyatt. My son's name is Wyatt. You'd think I would be able to remember that name, but uh, they end up finding him. He had okay. Wait. So his name is Wyatt. He's still missing. Um, and they still haven't found him. Like I said, the guy that they had found, um, what they thought was him was not him, but his body is missing. So I want to see here what happened to Wyatt.
Didn't they find him drowned somewhere?
Um, I don't.
Well, you go back to the motel burning. Uh,
Oh, yes. So she starts investigating Jared and this hotel burning down, and he gets this payoff, and the hotel burning down is like really suspicious. So she's not thinking it's an electrical fire. She thinks it was arson, even though it was written off as faulty wiring. And in the process of this investigation, she finds out that who she thinks is Brock was at this hotel with this Tammy. And then there's also sightings of Hank there as well with somebody, but they don't know who.
Yes.
At the time, who he had been seen there with. So there's somebody he'd been meeting there that the brothers didn't know anything about. They're like, was he seeing somebody? Was he in a relationship with someone? Because they didn't have a clue.
Right.
No clue whatsoever. So she starts really kind of focusing her investigation on Hank and what he had been doing up until that point. And then that's when she figures out from the autopsy that he had cancer and that he was terminal and very close to dying at the time.
So
And
really, the fire at the motel was only the owner doing it is himself.
yes,
Right.
yes. So as we're kind of getting more towards the end here, and she's starting to kind of understand the brothers, and she's starting to figure out that they really didn't have the brothers just weren't talking to each other. Like I said, they all had suspicion, which kind of drove a wedge between all of them, but they're coming together and now they're talking, and they're all looking at each other like, well, did you do it? No. Did you do it? No. That kind of scenario. And
Right.
so um that they kind of figured she's kind of believing now, which she wants to believe because of her feelings for Brock, that the brothers didn't have anything to do with his death.
Well, they're still not real sure until she starts doing more digging,
Mm-hmm.
and then uh, some reason they were off altogether. And then are we getting close to the end or
Yeah.
okay? Now you got to remember that Flossie has been right beside her all the way. That older woman,
Yes.
all the way.
Yes.
And so then they get to thinking, well, Flossie knows what happened. Well, but they're still not sure.
Well, they're not sure about that, but Amica opened up her bar really late in the morning, and they don't know why. They're like, this woman, you could set your watch by her. She always opens up extremely early. She serves breakfast. And on the morning that they had found Hank dead, um, she had opened up her restaurant, the bar, late, extremely late for her. And
Right.
then she also finds out too that Brock is the one that found Hank in the
Yeah.
river.
That's why they kept thinking it was him.
Yes, because he was actually there and had found him. So it was kind of, did you feel the twist at the end of it, because we're coming towards the end of it? Did you feel?
Well, you
Yes,
know,
Robert, I've read the whole book. I actually read the second one too, so my my facts are getting a little the lines between them are a little fogged. But
Yeah,
yes, me and Regina both read the whole book.
yeah. I think we're reading them too early and or waiting too long to have the discussion or take notes in between. Um, Now, of course, you're still not sure where the dead man went and what got a hold of Tammy after all, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's a hanging, just hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monica loaned Ollie a truck.
Yes, because she was getting so upset with Brock that she didn't want to have to depend on him to be able to go everywhere she needed to go. So she ended up borrowing a truck. Um, she borrowed the truck from Monica.
Yes.
Is who
Is
she
that
borrowed
is
who
that
she
not what
borrowed this.
I didn't say that?
Um uh
Yeah, Monica
yes.
loaned her a truck,
Yes.
and um, so the truck had flat tires or something.
Yeah, all these different things had kind of started happening to her. Um all the tires were flat, and so as she lost the brakes, she was driving home and Brock was following her, and she lost the brakes on the truck and ended up in the river. Is that how she ended up in the river?
Huh?
Um, different truck. Different truck. No, her tires were flat. So all of these little things started happening to her, that because she was a target for keeping digging into this investigation and what was going on.
About Hank,
Yes.
and then the one with Tammy. So all of that was, they were all wondering, was it all related?
Yes.
And then Tammy, Monica was called by Ollie to go somewhere, wasn't she?
Yeah, they were. Did they have a girls' night or?
Somehow they got to, somehow, I don't remember how, but they got together, right?
Yes. Yes.
Or no, wait. Monica, well, there was some reason there was a shooting in the sheriff's office
Yes.
because the old man in the basement heard it.
Yes.
We didn't even approach his situation.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, there's this old guy. His name is Amos, and he's the weather guy, and he's kind of like
Recluse.
a recluse, an introvert, or whatever. But he lives in this basement of um, uh, the sheriff's office, but he never comes out. He just calls in the weather every day. He's very, very smart, but he's also very, very weird, and so he never leaves the basement ever, which is kind of really funny. um,
But anyway, there was a shooting in the sheriff's office. He heard it, and then when Brock and I don't know which brother, Ace, I guess, one of the brothers come running in the sheriff's office, and all they could see was blood.
yes, and that's when we find out that it's Monica Okay, Monica is the one that's been doing all of this stuff to um, Ollie because she's jealous of the fact that her and Brock have this relationship now. And she's been the one that's been in love with him all these years, but he doesn't pay no mind to her.
Well, it
So,
was a one-time fling.
yeah, yeah, it was just a one night deal in that drunken deal. And that was it.
But now, come to find out, she was the one that was shooting at the Ollie,
Yeah,
and they still didn't know who killed Hank. Right?
right. They still don't know. And Ollie's taken a lot of heat from New York. They're telling her this is it. If you don't get us some answers within the next day or two, you're done. You're done, and you'll no longer have a job. So she's really under a lot of pressure. Um, so it comes down to where she's back at
Well,
uh
they they found Monica and her in the snowbound. Um, Sorry, I was gonna try to figure out where this she Monica grabs her.
she grabs her outside of the sheriff's office and
But
and
why
takes
was she
her.
there? Why was she there?
She was investigating. She was in the sheriff's office by herself, um investigate, doing further into her investigation and going in through records and just investigating more into the brothers and trying to tie up all of these loose ends. So hopefully she can um, be able to figure out and give her boss an answer as to what happened.
Right. Um,
I got it. So
so she was fixing to go get something to eat, and then that's when she got conked over the head with something.
yes, yeah, she got clubbed and drug off.
But where?
And she
But
takes her um doesn't she take her to one of those warming shed where they
well,
find.
that's when the gun went off in the sheriff's office,
Yes.
and then it dawned on uh, Ollie. She she wanted that. She asked Monica if she killed Hank, and she said, "Of course not." And then she hit her, and then she got her out the door. She made her walk. I thought they said she dragged her.
She drug her. Yes, because they couldn't pick her. She couldn't pick her up. So she had parked down by the river, and so
Yeah,
she
Monica did.
she did. And so she walked her back to her vehicle there. Um and they start. Ophelia, she's like, this woman's going to kill me. I've got to do something. And so um, she starts getting in a fight with Monica, and the gun goes off.
Right.
And she gets shot. Ophelia gets shot, and she goes unconscious. And so at about this time, Brock is,
He's hurrying back to the sheriff office because
yes,
that's
he
when
he kind of figures out what's going on. Christian is there, the dog is there, and they start tracking her. And they went down to the river, and they've kind of figured out kind of what's, not who it is, but kind of where it's going. And so they're on trying to catch up with her before something happens to her. um Amos is the one who tells Brock, this is what happened. I heard a gunshot, I was
okay,
scared.
Monica killed Tammy,
Yes.
but I guess she thinks the way I was looking back because she thinks that. Sorry, this heater's.
She thinks Brock had this
She
affair.
thinks Brock had an affair with Tammy too.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was
Hank and plus Luke.
It was Christian is
Oh,
the one
Christian
that spent the night with her. And then Jared was also hooking up with her as
with
well.
Tammy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
because he's just a terrible
Leach.
person.
It was Leach.
Yeah, exactly.
So Monica thought that Tammy was having an affair with Brock.
Yes. And so she got insanely jealous. Um
Yeah.
and
So
and
so okay.
Ophelia finds,
So that helps. Okay. So Monica killed Tammy over Brock, which we didn't know it was over Brock to the end of it. And
yes,
then she kidnaps Ollie because
yes,
Ollie and Brock were getting too close.
yes, yes. And so she tells her, she's asking her, why are you doing this? And it comes out that she's jealous, and she's kind of in this rage, and she tells her, I'm going to shoot you and drag your body into the woods and let the animals eat you, and nobody's going to find you, you know um and so that's all of this came over this one night stand, um that she had. It was with Monica. He had this one night stand with, and it was only one time, and it was kind of a drunken thing. And so this Monica kind of laid claim to him, and that's why she's been so angry
Well,
over it.
Brock and Tammy was a one. I mean, Brock and Monica was a one night thing. But
Uh-huh.
if Tammy was in and out of the motel, then Monica thought it was her too,
Yes.
and that's how she ended up dying. Now
Yes.
they're all back at the sheriff's office, and somebody just made a confession.
Yes. It comes out that well, the door opens, and it's so out of the blue. It just really takes you by surprise, because the door opens, and Flossie, decked to the nines, comes walking in with basically her entourage of women, and ends up confessing to killing Hank, their father. And they're all just stunned, just absolutely stunned. And she explains to him that, that they had cared for each other, and how sick he was, and that he had begged her to help him. And so she ends up, and she hands them the shotgun that she shot him with. And then all the women from the whole town confessed to it too. to kind of back her up, because they didn't want her to get in trouble, so they like all of them confessed to it. But in the end, it was Flossie, the elderly woman from the B&B, and it was because she loved Hank, and he was so sick and in so much pain, and he begged her to help him.
So Flossie goes and tells that she did it. Then her two elderly friends come and say they did it.
Yes, they confess as well.
Right. So the whole situation for the agent to be there was to find out who killed Hank.
Yes.
And so Flossie did it. And I don't remember seeing the help of who you said, but
well, it's kind of funny because Ophelia kind of had figured this out, and it's because when she had returned back, Flossie was working on her quilt, and Flossie always made quilt blocks that represented the people in
it was
the
on the
community.
blanket. It was on the blanket.
On the blanket.
On the
and when she was looking through there, she had found a moose, and that moose represented Hank. And that's when she realized the ball cap he was wearing didn't say Eve on it. It was a moose on the front of this ball cap. And so she ends up confessing. And then, like I said, they go in, and her friends all confess to it too, because they don't want to see her getting into trouble for that. So total game changer, total twist, came out of the blue that the elderly woman did the deed.
The jealous woman of the town killed
Tammy.
One person. We still don't know how the other man died, right?
No, we still don't know how he died. And
in other words, he just left hanging on that one.
Yes, so that's still, I'm sure, would come out in other books, of how that's going to happen. And then, of course, the young man, he died of exposure in the woods, so he didn't survive being lost out in the woods. He didn't get murdered. He died of exposure.
Right.
But a lot of twists and turns, a lot of suspense. Of course, there was that spicy romance going on in the book. But this is one of, I think, 4 books. So 4 books. Each book is about a different brother. So if you like this author, if you like Rebecca Zanetti, she does have a series of book, and each book is a different brother. If you want to read her and read more of her stories, she has lots of different series. So, but like I said, overall as a writer, I thought she was pretty good. I know, Regina, you didn't care for the sex scene parts of it, and
well,
there's nothing wrong with that either.
I feel like it took away from the whole
story, that it wasn't needed.
Yeah.
Or well, there could have been a romance, but just not as intense.
Right.
Or I don't know how you want to say it, descriptive of what they're actually doing.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if it's not a bad. Of course, I had to buy it, and I imagine you did too. But for it having to be bought instead of being on the unlimited section, it was
not one you'd want to spend the money on again.
Nah, I don't know. Not really. Um,
So Joan is saying euthanasia. Yes, it's kind of basically that's what he asked her to do. And so she did.
the next book, which you said you read, is $6.99, but I don't know. I just and the next one is the Brother Christian's story. I've
Yes,
read.
the next book, book two, is about Christian and kind of what happens to him, and the relationship that he starts to have with Amica. But like I said, overall, probably, what would you give it? 0 to 10. 0 out of 10. 0 being absolutely would never hated it. 10 being loved it. I want to read them all.
Zero what?
0 to, well, we'll do 0 to 5. What would, how many stars would you give it?
Gosh, it's hard for me to make a decision.
Just be honest. It's all good.
I don't feel like it was suspense as some of the ones that we've read,
Uh-huh.
or even I've read by myself. So I'd say a 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
I'd give it a like a 4. I
I mean, I've read more suspense of them trying to find out. This one is more of a love.
It's a romantics. It's
It's
definitely a
more of a
romance
it's more of
suspense.
a romance detective, and some of the other books that I've read are more detective line.
Well, yeah, it's all crime story.
Right.
Definitely all crime story. So in January, I put out a poll, and I'm sure those of you that have seen it and voted, we did a poll based on what genre would like to be read, and so the winner of that is fantasy. I know Regina does not read fantasy, so this will be a little bit of a struggle for her, but she said she's up to the task and she'll give it a try and see if it's something, she will try to read it, even though it's not her forte there. So I do have a poll up. If you have a moment, please go and check that out if you plan on reading for January book club. And the I try to I picked 4 books. If you have an author or a book that you think would be better than the 4 I put up here, please list it. I will go back and look in the comments for that. The first book is called The Fifth Season.
Well, you got Dead Detective.
Yes, there is Breaking the Realms, which is kind of about dragons. There's the Dead Detective, which he's a detective that ends up getting killed, and it's more supernatural, but she has to solve her own murder. And then there is the last Ranger, and those are both fantasy books, so kind of fae and wizardy kind of books, but I don't know why that hadn't refreshed yet.
Well, you got Dead Detective, 5th season, The Last Ranger, and Breaking the Realms. So, if I remember, well, I don't want to vote. Why did it do that? Because I touched it. Oh,
Yes, all of Joan, I did look, and I don't know, because you don't have Audible. I think you use the library. I don't know if they're available at the library, but these are all on the unlimited Kindle and also on Audible. So I do know that. But if somebody on here likes fantasy, if they have a particular author that they like, or a book title, throw it up there in the chat, and we'll check it out. I think only one person is voted on the
Well,
poll.
it won't let me unvote. So how do you know what the authors are?
Oh, to give a description of what the books are.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do.
It won't let me unvote for the detective one. So
We'll just, if you click on another one, what did you want to vote for?
no, that's the one that's, yeah, I hit it to read it and it's not, don't do that.
Oh yeah, no, that's just a poll. It
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
it doesn't give a description.
oh, there's the authors on the next one. Okay, never mind. I see them now on the next post.
Oh, I'm changing screens here. Boop.
Okay,
Yes.
so the next on the post, she's got the 5 books, and then on the post before that is pick one. But you can get the author and read about it and go from there. Um,
Yeah, so definitely a different genre of reading. Like I said, these would be all considered fantasy or along that line. So I just kind of tried to pick a couple different, 4 different books that were all different. So, not all um, dragons
so
or
that
all time travel or whatever.
so,
I just kind of did a spattering of what they are.
so Joan, go to the post and you'll don't vote yet, but go to the next post, and she's got all 4 books with the authors, and see, Joan, if you can get any of those, and let us know which one you can get, and we might just.
Yeah, definitely let me know, because I know um Regina, you did the Dead Detective, so we do definitely want participation. We want comments and participation, and
Oh,
kind of want your guys' opinion instead of me or Regina just picking the book to read. We want your thoughts too. We want you to enjoy uh what's being read too. So we want you all to be involved in that process as well. And then Joan, if you end up getting the book and read it, you can come up on stage with us. More conversation.
she says she's looking now, so
Cool.
we give her a few minutes and maybe she can tell us.
Yes.
Um, thank y'all for coming. But I know one thing, I don't need to read it anytime soon.
But yes, thank you for joining our Dead of Winter chat. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell, and drop your next book suggestion below, because we'd love to see what all of you are reading too. Drop what you're reading in the comments, even if it's not a fantasy book, just a favorite author or what you enjoy reading, because we'd like to see.
So
We have not, Star, we haven't chose a book yet. Those are the 4 that I have up in the poll. Um, it was difficult for me for fantasy to choose 4 books. So to kind of get a poll going to see what everybody might like to read. So if you want to take a look at those 4 books, 4 different authors, and see if there's out of those that you might like to read, or if you have a particular author in the fantasy genre that you like, drop that in the comments too. Oh, you can't get any of those 4, Joan? Well, Joan, why don't you look and see what fantasy books you can, and see if there's something that you like, and drop that in the comments, and we'll check it out. Because I really want you to be able to join in the reading with us, because I know you love to read too. But I know you don't particularly read fantasy either, like Regina.
yeah, I mean, none of this is set in concrete just because, You did a toe. I mean a poll.
No. And like I said, the biggest thing is to get, it's a book club, so your guys' thoughts and opinions are important. So I want to know, what all you're listening to, or something that you think you might want to read that's not necessarily, that's outside the box of your norm. This detective one that I put on there because I know I know, Regina, you like more of the detective crime, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a fantasy detective crime.
Is that one of the ones you sent me?
Yes, that's the dead detective.
I don't know why these
Dead
people
detective.
did new stuff.
But again, we appreciate you guys joining us and showing us the support and being here with us, and we just really appreciate all of you, and hope you're all enjoying whatever you're reading this evening. We've had some snow here where I'm at, so it's been nice to sit in the house and drink the hot chocolate and read. The Last Ranger is written by JDL Rosell, Rossell.
Hang on, I'm reading this first one. If I can find the words. Oh yeah, I like that. That one was, I don't know how far fetched that part of the storyline would be good. But I was looking at the one that you had was the key.
Oh, yes. Yes. I
Before.
had such a hard time because I had bookmarked several of them. And like I said, the four I put up here are 100% not set in stone. If nobody's liking any of these books,
Yeah,
by Friday of next week,
I'm gonna,
I can pick some other ones
I'm gonna
or
send,
take some suggestions.
yeah, I'm gonna send that one to you, John, the key, and see if you can get it, because that's one that Lori had found. You didn't put the A Kiss to Break the Spell, did you?
No.
Okay, let me see if she can get this one, because those are two that you told me about too.
Yeah. There was several.
So Joan, I've sent you two that Lori liked, and
That was by Felicia Roberts, The Key, correct?
hang on, let me backtrack.
Um,
Yes,
so
Roger.
so a little description of The Key. The character's name is Maddie Clevenger, and she's a senior. She's orphaned, living with her grandmother in a nowhere town of Coal Creek. She keeps her head down, her hair over her eyes, and she has as far away from the cheerleaders as possible until she bumps into a cute new guy, and he literally sends an electrical shock up her arm. Is it possibly for the dork to fall in love at first jolt?
Oh, I sent you the wrong one, Joan. I sent you one that you said you couldn't get. Let's see.
Was that and this is about the boy. His name is Chase. He's an Air Force brat, but there's flying monsters that are stalking her, and he has this key to solving her problems and wants to protect her. And so there's it's fantasy because there's mythological creatures in the story.
Let's see. I guess these are fantasy ones you sent.
Yeah, they all are.
Okay. I'm sending some to Joan so that maybe she can pick from a couple of more.
Okay. Kind of what I told Joan, what I told Regina is, just look up whatever list or at your library there what they have available and see if anything catches your eye, and then shoot me or Regina a message.
This anyway, but I mean, I'll try. If it's not too bad, I could probably maybe read it.
Yeah. Well, just try. It's something new, something different. And
But I know one thing, I'm not going to start as early.
I know. I think I've read about since I read Dead of Winter, I've read
Well, you're even reading faster than I am.
I've read 6 or 7 books.
But I've got
since I read that.
All this other going on. So anyway, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you. We love having you. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you in January, and keep an eye on the posts because I will drop some posts, and so everybody can keep up on what we're going to do.
Lori, don't leave.
Okay.
Just end the live and then go from there.